Welcome to the COI System, a cloud-based certificate of insurance management system. In this video, we will quickly go through major features of the system by following the typical renewal of an insurance certificate, and how easy it is to request a new certificate. So let's get started. After login, the home screen will appear. The lower section, Expiring Certificates of Insurance, shows the certificates that have an expiration date within 30 days. There are 4 scenarios when considering the renewal of a certificate. The first scenario is when the certificate was approved last year with full compliance. This is indicated by a green check mark beside the expiring certificates. If you are still doing business with that vendor, you can simply send the renewal request without any changes. From the Action button, highlight Renew and Send, and click on To Email. The email renewal request template will appear with all the information preloaded, including the certificate upload link. The insurance requirements are included in the PDF attachment. If we click it, you can see what it looks like. Changes can be made to the email itself, but most likely you will just hit Send. The renewal request has been sent to the vendor, and the certificate will now show in the Active Certificate Request section on the home page. The second scenario is when the prior certificate was accepted without full compliance, which is indicated by the hazard icon. If you hover over the icon, the reason for the exception will show in the pop-up note. In this case, the reviewer agreed to allow the vendor to secure the coverage deficiency by their next insurance renewal. Therefore, there is no change in the original insurance requirement, and it can just be sent as it is. The third scenario is an exception or correction to the required coverages as indicated in the hazard note. To change the requirement, select Renew or Change from the Action button. You can then make the change described in the hazard note. By making the change at the renewal, we avoid making unnecessary changes if the vendor is not renewed. This time, we are going to look at the printed version. Select Save and Send to Printer. The print window appears showing a preview of the letter and request. The letter can be formatted with your letterhead and to fit into window envelopes. Select Print. If it printed OK, select Yes to indicate the renewal was sent. No will keep the status as not sent. The fourth scenario is when the vendor's certificate is no longer needed. If that is the case, the renewal can be ignored by selecting Action Ignore. A window will appear for an explanation as to why it is not needed. Then select Save. The ignored request and reason is recorded under the vendor's information if needed later. The homepage will show the 3 renewal requests that were just sent in the Active Certificate Requests section. Now let's take a look at the vendor's inbox to see what happens on their end. For illustration purposes, we sent all the requests to a single sample email address. When the vendor checks their email, they will see the certificate requests. The email includes the message requesting the renewal certificate, the requirement PDF, and the upload link. Once the certificate is prepared, either the vendor or the broker can click the upload link to import it into COI System. After the upload certificate page appears, the vendor can drag and drop the file or navigate through their directory to select the file. After the file is prepared for uploading, they would select Upload, and a success notice will appear to confirm it was uploaded correctly. We can then check the COI System's homepage and can see the request status has changed from Request Sent to COI Uploaded. We select Details to go to Review page. The uploaded certificate file is in this section. Click View to see it in the display window so you can do the review. The Review section provides a check-off system that only displays the required items that need reviewed. Note the tabs are red, which indicates there is at least one item that is still deficient under that tab. Coverage limits and other requirements are compared to the certificate and checked off. Under the coverage tabs, an expiration date is required, so the automatic renewal notice can be requested at the appropriate time. The rest of the coverages are then checked off if they meet the requirements. Notice as a section is fully compliant, the tab heading turns black. For this one, all of the coverages meet the requirements. The Approve box is checked and then click Save. Next year, the certificate would show up with a green check. We now go back to the home page to review the second certificate that was uploaded by clicking on Details. On this one, we will presume all items are correct except for 2 requirements. So all items are checked except those items, and then we select Save and Send Deficiencies, then to Email. The Email Deficiency Requests template loads the required information in the PDF noting that corrections needed. Then select Send. A confirmation message is provided indicating the request for correction has been sent. In this case, the vendor emails the corrected certificate instead of using the upload link provided in the email request. You can click on the upload link to import the certificate into the system. It is very similar to the upload page the vendor sees, except a note is to be included. We then go back to the home page to see the COI uploaded status. We then click on Details to check on the corrections, then View to see the corrected certificate. The certificate shows one of the corrections, but the other item is not provided. At this point, the reviewer decides to approve the certificate, despite the deficiency. The Approve with Deficiencies is checked and an explanation of the exception is provided, and select Save. That is the process for renewal certificates. Renewals will automatically appear in the lower section of the home page for an action. The action can be taken with just a few mouse clicks, and follow-up is managed by using the Active Certificate section by sorting any of the column headings. Most renewals will be able to be requested with just a few mouse clicks. We can now look at how easy it is to make an initial request for proof of insurance. We first go to the vendor page. If it is a new vendor, select Add New Vendor. There are 3 required items: the vendor name, the email or mailing address, and which jobs or locations are applicable. Depending on your organization, you may only need one location because all certificates will have the same certificate holder. However, if your locations or jobs require different additional insureds or certificate holders, there could be many. An optional but important field is the Default Requests template. This template is a pre-established set of requirements that is set up by management. These are created in the Request Template heading. In general, these would be set up so that low-risk vendors may have minimal requirements, where high-risk vendors may have much higher limits or coverage requirements. They can be established for risk classifications, for specific operations, such as rental of facilities, or for specific one-time jobs. You can have as many request templates as needed. Using this feature, management can assign the vendor standardized requirements up front, but still have the ability to customize the actual requests later in the process. Once you are satisfied with the vendor information, select Save. At this point, you can select Add New Request to take you to the request screen. However, we are going to make the request from an existing vendor. From the vendor page, type any part of the vendor's name in the search field. Hit Enter, then select the vendor. Here the vendor detail is shown. You will note it is the same screen as when the new vendor was added. Note all of the required information is shown, including the default request template. We select Add New Request. You can see the request template assigned to the vendor is highlighted automatically. Although you can change it, you will normally just click Create. Select the locations or jobs applicable. Notice the additional insureds are automatically added based on the locations or jobs selected. Assign a due date that you would like the certificate back. Then select what location the certificate is to be sent to. Then point to Send and Save. Since this is a new request, the system knows what letter or email to generate. You can preview or print the initial request letter, or send an email, which includes the link for the vendor to upload the certificate into COI System. Once requested, the review and correction process is the same as the renewal certificates we previously reviewed. We hope you found this video valuable on how you can easily administer the certificate process, but more importantly, provide a consistent, documented approach to verifying compliance by your vendors, contractors, subcontractors, or anyone you require to have insurance. We thank you for watching this overview of COI System. And please check our other help videos on system setup and more detailed information and instructions on other functions.